It'd help if I unmuted my own mic when I was bringing this in, but that's just me being a bit stupid as well. You know what? So many things I've not adjusted as meant to be adjusted there before I brought us on screen and before we went live. Which means you can't use that joke because I just said we went live. Just preempting you on that one. There we go. Get your Hiroshi Taka. No, it's not Hiroshi, is it? Is it Hiroshi? Why are you just being silent now? Like, why are you being silent? You have no reason to be silent. You were talking quite well before I said we are now live. I'm getting Discord messages. I didn't even realize there the fucking thing was. I wasn't because like it doesn't beep. It was on streamer mode. For context, viewers, John Sense again being a little shitty is deciding to text message me over Discord. What do you mean your voice rest?
Oh, we're live. Nice one. How you doing, guys?
So, you know what I'm going to do going forward? If you're going to act like you're not live, I'm just going to turn off your camera stuff on the stream until you want to start speaking. Like, if you want to start inventing new ways to be a shithead, I can start inventing ways to be a shithead, being the one behind the OBS.
Yeah, but think about it this way, and this was raised to you last week. If you shut down this bit, you'll just hate whatever the next thing is.
Yeah, no, and I was the one who openly acknowledged that. In fact, I was the first person to fucking acknowledge that last week.
It's a gamble whether the next thing will be better or maybe worse than this.
But you're going to create an escalation of warfare, and not to be that guy, but with the one with the most sentient control over the stream, I am ultimately going to be the one that will have the fucking last laugh and the final say.
Well, final say, last laugh, maybe not.
I don't know. I just turn off the stream and we never do PVD again, and then I'll have the last laugh. I'll be like, ha ha ha.
Would that make you laugh, or would you just be like, no, this is silly?
Okay, what is the greatest motivator the human race has?
Amusing an audience.
No, it's one word.
Amusing.
No.
Audience.
No. Spite.
It's true.
We are a spiteful race, and I will indulge spite if I have to. But hello, folks. Welcome to the stream. As always, PVD starts off with some sort of level of shenanigans. And also, did my internet crash, or is John Sense's internet crashed?
You've gone since the storm?
Is the storm still affected? Are you still there?
I'm still here. I was just saying there, like, I don't know whether it was my internet went funny or your internet went funny.
See, that's what I was checking as well. I was like, did my internet go funny or did your internet go funny? Because, like, I know Storm... how do you pronounce it? It's like Isha? Isha? I know Storm Isha has been a bastard the last wee while.
Is your dick wet?
Isha's your dick wet? I mean, it's hitting Galway pretty hard, so it's got its dick wet before
your dick is hitting Galway pretty hard? That's impressive.
I mean, you know... I like to think like that there. Bro Panda's coming in to say hello. Also, John says sweatshirt's really nice. Reminds me of the old Sanrio dinosaur pencil case set that had a grey scale. That's cool.
I have never once worn this hoodie and not had someone compliment it.
It is a cool hoodie. It is cool.
It's a great hoodie. I love it. But like, I go into a shop and people working in the shop are all asking me where I got it from, and I'm like, I don't know. My wife bought it for herself and I stole it.
Oh wow, it's like, I don't know, I stole it from my wife. Yeah. Fantastic way.
Oh,
Weekends, Laura. I'm trying to think what my weekend was like. Busy is the best way I can put it. Like, just really fucking busy. I had a really fucking stupid thing where I didn't sleep till like 8 a.m. yesterday, and then
AMZs.
And then, like, not by choice, I was trying to, just insomnia, right? And then I had that thing where, like, I had a danger nap at 8 p.m. and then I woke up at 8 p.m. I was like, oh, this was a bad idea. Now I've got too much energy. It's going to carry me to 7 a.m. again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My sleep schedule's been pretty fucked that I keep going to bed at a normal time. And I'm taking, like, melatonin and shit to try and get to sleep.
Yeah.
And then I'm still lying there till, like, 6, 7 in the morning.
Yeah, can't win. And like I'm like my schedule's a little bit like my actual schedule. Like my schedule in the sense of like my career duties are a little bit more like in time with like traditional work hours now these days, because sometimes when folks need me there like early in the morning, like 8 or 9 and whatnot. So like sort of like the later I can still do the thing where like I wake up, like I go to bed later and I wake up and do things later, but it's obviously at the cost. Then I'll have to do what I used to do when I still worked for Concentrics, whereas like I'll take maybe an afternoon nap or something just to at the sensible time. If I'm doing something early in the morning, like 8 or 9, and I go home by about 2 or 3, I'll take a respectable nap between like 3 to 6, which is fine. Yes. Yeah, which is fine. Like it only becomes a danger nap if I sleep till like past 8 o'clock in the evening. That's when it gets a little bit more fucky wucky for me. So it's been busy. It's just weekends are busy, and then also like I do. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Also like people are probably not very aware, but like I am one of the team leads for the pajama party these days. So I have to like we opened up applications for people to like apply for the team at the start of like January, and like in one day 20 applications, and we've had to like go through.
Yeah, it's been hard work going through them all.
Going through the likes of like their social media, their streams and stuff, see if they're right fit for the team and stuff.
We want to make sure they're a good fit for the team. Big responsibility.
Why are you going away? What did that come from?
What?
It's like, yeah, we gotta say, why did you join the Why did you join the
I'm one of the team leads.
What?
I'm one of the leads for.
Oh. Did the internet connections go again? Hey, Fing. Take a second to acknowledge you. Hope we keep well, because sometimes you're looking well.
I can see you moving on the Twitch side, but it's the Discord side that is frozen.
Yeah, that's the second time it's happened. You're a bit fuzzy there for a second as well.
Yeah, the internet hasn't like gone out or anything with the storm, but it did go a bit funny very briefly. So we'll have to keep an eye on it.
Yeah,
but yeah, as I was just saying, I'm one of the team leads for Pajama Party. So
when did that happen?
When Shan was taking a break, as you may or may not recall, I was the one running the social media accounts. Forgot about that, didn't you?
I love how that you're actually playing into that there when it was actually fucking me.
But the lore at the time was that it could be me.
Well, to be fair, right? I engaged in psychological warfare against Kat to suggest it was you, because I thought that was very funny.
It was very funny, but it means that I now have all the responsibilities and privileges of that position. It's canon.
Yeah, if you want to believe so, go ahead.
I don't need to believe it.
It would take some of the work off my shoulders and Chad's shoulders.
You can say to Shan, like, did you know that John thinks he's a team lead?
I was just met. She was in Chicago there over the weekend, seeing a gig, and so we had like an emergency call over the weekend just to like go through, because we still hadn't just got back to people, because like it was like 20 fucking odd people that applied, and it was like, Jesus, this is a lot of people to research and look into and stuff. And so we got some of the acceptance letters out, and we're having to go through the drudgery of like finally just come into consensus of like, are we letting these people's applications go through, and are we saying no to these people, and if we are saying no, what is the reasons? Because like if pajama party stuff, we try to be as like, it's so strange to say it, but we try to be as professional as possible and actually like give people like letters, outline the outcomes properly, and like, because a lot of stream teams do not fucking do that.
Oh no, because a lot of stream teams are just people who are streaming that don't view it as a professional endeavor. They're just like, oh, we'll give ourselves a funny name and we'll all rate each other.
Yeah.
But that's not the way we do things at Pajama Party, let me tell you.
I'm so glad I didn't take a fucking drink of that cola as you said that. I was ready to spit that out. I was ready to fucking spit that out in reaction. But like, yeah, so like, it's just one of those things where like, yeah, like even though I've not been streaming over like a lot, I've streamed last week and we're streaming today, but like, even though I haven't been streaming a lot over January, like I still do a lot of work in the background on stream stuff, but it's for the Pajama Party.
I mean, I'm not saying in this instance, in the past, you have enjoyed doing production-y things.
Like, yeah, I enjoy sort of like little things like that there, because, you know, I like sort of going through and problem solving and to some extent, like, I mean, I managed people and like shit for fucking over 10 years, so it's just like second nature to me. It's like, okay, I know I know how we need to approach like this outcome, or I know how to approach like this sort of thing and that sort of thing. Like, I don't want to go into specifics because there's some things that are very private that I've had to deal with for the last month or two with the Pajama Party, and it's not really, I don't want to be airing people's business.
You know that I know about all of those things anyway, but we don't want to let the audience know.
I swear to fucking God. This is his new thing now. He's already found
this is you watching a bit being born and being like, oh, it's funny. Oh, no, it's not going to stay funny, though.
It's like, if I see him again, I'm going to stab him. So, yeah. So it's been busy. Like, I've been busy with stuff like that there. And then, obviously, I have to get ready for this Thursday, because that's the launch of Infinite Wealth.
It is the launch of Infinite Wealth, which I am rock hard for.
Which is means I've had to like readjust my whole streaming plan. The whole streaming plan was I was meant to come back and go through the Alan Wakes first, and then like Super Mario Wonder and this.
When you get a free early access copy, that changes things.
That changes everything. That changes everything. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll give like that game a wide berth. It's like, nope, that game is now priority number one.
I'm not giving it a wide berth. I'm in fact going to try and play it before anyone else does.
Yeah. So that's like a thing that's like, oh cool, I'm going to be trying to get it ahead of the curve wildly. XQC, because he's a huge fucking streamer of like 40, 50, 60,000 people watching him.
Indecipherable piece of shit.
He is an indecipherable piece of shit, but like, because, you know, when it comes to stuff like that, they're like, publishers are like, oh, big person, we'll get game in front of him very quickly. He got a copy of it really early and did not know it was a fucking turn-based RPG, and it's just
he thought it was a dating sim.
Yeah, and it's just like, dude, how do you not do any research on the game you're about to promote at all?
Doesn't care.
Just fucking.
Is the streamer at that level where deals like that and money just gets thrown at you no matter what you do, because you're so big that it snowballs?
Yeah.
So you notice that with a lot of these bigger streamers, that the content I find is generally pretty poor.
Yeah.
And it's just that because they have a big audience, they attract an audience, which means they attract deals and they attract games and opportunities and collaborations. But they don't then need to put in the same, I wouldn't say level of work, because streaming is still work, but like the level of care into the content that they produce. Yeah,
at that point, it's just like sort of the publisher.
XQC, that is why we won't let you into the Pajama Party. Read the letter. It's all outlined there.
I love that his internet cut it as he was doing that bit. It was very funny that your internet cut as that bit was going.
I could see it cut on the other monitor because it still plays what everyone at home sees.
Yes.
It's just my Discord that goes funny. So it was a good freeze. I was happy with it.
It's like anytime you try that bit, your internet's like, stop that. That's fraudulent.
Stop it. Not everyone watching knows this is a bit.
Yeah.
Stop doing it.
So there's a reason you don't watch the larger streamers. That's true. That's a true thing. I mean, it's a thing I hear all the time from communities like of our size and our skill. It's always like it's harder to feel like a part of community, especially as you get to a larger status, and that is a very valid fucking criticism of larger creators, even though it's that weird paradigm that I'm sure you sometimes yourself, Johnson's kind of play around with in your head. It's like it would be great to be bigger, but it's also the fear of, if I get bigger, do I lose the thing I love?
It's a tough thing, because you want to be bigger because you want to feel like you're doing something right, and that's one of the ways that you can see, oh well, I'm doing something right here, I'm growing, I'm succeeding, this is positive, I'm doing the thing. But by doing that, are you going to end up losing what you love about it and what makes it special? Because I know that for both of us, one of the things we enjoy is interacting with chat, interacting with other streamers, like feeling like we are building something of a community. And if you get too big and your chat's going a mile a minute, you don't get that anymore. Like no one gets to interact with each other. You're going to see one message in every 12. And it's tough. Like there's big streamers whose content I follow, but whose streams I don't watch.
Yeah.
One is Otsdarva who does loads of Dead by Daylight content, who does like good YouTube guides and like informational breakdowns, and like
Clearly Stormisha's being an absolute cuntbag today.
watch compilations. They're funny with it. Let it go. This is gonna keep happening.
Oh god, all the information you can throw at once there when your like feet finally caught up again.
Oh, did it go like yeah. Yeah, but I don't need to watch a big streamer's stream because I'm not getting anything from that I wouldn't get from like one of their YouTube compilations.
And it's one of those ones where like I've often thought about it, and like I don't believe I'll get to a point where I'll have full chat saturation like that there. But like, you know, I'd be lying if I don't consider the idea of it. And when I've considered the idea of it, it's like, if that happens at some point, I will then end up like maybe curating and doing like Discord only streams where I can actually do non-profiteering or non-profit sort of community streams through that platform that allows for a more sort of the only way I can kind of put it is central sort of community hub type of streams through the Discord platform.
And I'm back.
And he's back.
That is happening way more regularly than I'm comfortable with.
Even I'm dropping frames, and it's like
it's
dropping,
weird
like,
that you're dropping
frames.
frames. So it must be that there's some internet disruption after the storm.
Yeah,
you as well.
I dropped like 240 internet frames, like, you know, pure network frames instead of like encoding frames. So it's like, there's definitely I don't think it'll make any
difference at all, but I've turned off and disconnected from Spotify so that my internet's trying to do one less thing, but I don't think it'll really make a difference.
Oh,
nice cock.
There's a nice cock coming through.
It is pretty nice cock. It does mean that I have no Masayashi Takanaka all-time super best, and that is a sad day indeed.
Know what you should do? Never see you can download version, like a hard download on Spotify.
That, but if I try to do it now, it,
just in future reference, I guess,
should do that for the future.
Fing said early on Twitch watching journey, I watched a big Q4TC event with mid large scale streams. I don't know what Q4TC is though. I'm kind of
quarter for tennis cuckolding.
There's tennis cuckolding? That's a new niche.
Probably is.
It's like, what do I need to make my cuckolding more interesting? Bit of tennis. You okay there?
I, out the corner of my eye, saw my darling wife doing a chore that I promised her I would do and then forgot about. So that's a fail on my part.
Fair. Quest for the cause / cure. Charity event. So that's cool. That's cool.
So it's not about cuckolding.
No, apparently not.
Raise a lot of money.
I do enjoy streams like that. I mean, like all last week I was watching Games Done Quick. They were doing one.
You're a fan of that when it comes around.
They done their winter version, which is Games Done Quick. So they have the winter one, which is Games Done Quick, and then Awesome Games Done Quick, and then there's the summer one called Summer Games Done Quick. And that was the one for the winter event was Awesome Games Done Quick, and it was for cancer prevention. And I believe they raised 2.5 mil.
That thing you says it is about cuckolding cancer from people's bodies, which is pretty clever. So, like 50 points for that thing you love.
I saw that there's like off the coast of Maine, there's like a lighthouse called Cuckold.
Oh.
And I just saw a very funny like fucking tweet thing. It's like how is the guy coming to fuck his wife going to get through that store? But that was funny. I saw that. So apparently there's like a lighthouse off the coast of Maine called Cuckold or something to that effect. Justin coming in, Dan PPG, your big shit. Oh my god. Hey Hunter, by the way, just Hunter comes in. That's that noise like dun 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 dun. Dan PPG, your milkshake does bring all the boys to your yard. I am here. Oh my goodness, I did not know I had it. I have a soda and I have a water, not a soda water though, to be specific.
I think they're talking about your butt.
My butt milkshake? That's terrifying as a concept.
Well, no, not that your butt is making milkshake. Your butt is the milkshake.
Oh. Teapot Sharks are right as well. Teapot Shark, keep walks, I'll tell you. You're looking well. I just found out that the state next to me has a very unique name. If you want to see it on Google Maps, I'm curious.
Just tell us the name.
I come with sick riffs. I'm terrible to sleep with if you're walls. That's a good fucking fun. I like that. Fitting walls and suddenly just epic guitar fucking riffs.
I mean, I think about you know how your finger is.
I don't know if you can see it. It's at that weird like stage where it's pretty much more scab than it is anything else now, which is annoying because obviously it's healing, but then it's also very tight.
Yeah. That could be your superhero name, the Scab.
The Scab. That's a hard.
Well, it makes it just sound like you're going to cross picket lines.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
We'll work on something else.
Glory Hole Falls, Arkansas. I shit you not. Oh my goodness. It looks weirdly stick on camera. It looks weirdly stick.
I mean, bones are just sticks when you get down to it.
Oh, sticky. Oh, sticky. Sorry. You're grand. Like, no, it's like it looks sticky, but like it's actually rather dry. It's rather dry. It just
unless you lick it.
Oh, I don't plan on doing that. It's calcium sticks. It's one of those ones where like it's at that stage where it's like it's forming. It's scabbed over, so it's forming. I assume you skin. I'm not eating a scab. That's disgusting.
How many subs to eat the scab?
None, because I'm not doing it.
No, you heard it. He's going to do it for free.
No, I'm not doing it. But it is one of those ones where like it's very tight around my finger, so like it is one of those things where it's like it's just annoying because like if I go to like grab stuff or something, I can feel like something trying to pull my finger back.
Yeah.
And it's at that annoying stage as well as when I have a shower, when hot soap and water are applied to it, the scab just falls the fuck off, and it's back to that weird sticky state again.
Hunter says as a mod that he's cancelling this before it starts, but as a pajama party lead, I'm going to let it continue.
As the individual who's actually the pajama party lead, and I am stopping this right now, as the person as the channel fucking owner, as a future mod, that's a good way to never become a mod, is to assume you're going to become a mod. That is a great, it's John, to be fair, he has a point. It's John's guard dog. Yeah, to be fair, he is my guard dog.
I mean, I buy it because I 100% guarantee that Hunter has a collar, so...
I 100% know that Hunter has and will stab people to defend me.
That's not a thing guard dogs do, though. They don't stab people. I mean, if you could arm your guard dog with a knife, that would be very effective.
They stab them with their teeth.
They bite them with their teeth.
It's a stab. That one. I do have knife and fangs.
This one does. I do have a knife.
And he legitimately has fangs like a vampire. Like, he literally has had, like, actual fangs installed. Like, from an actual, like, dentist. So, that dude is rocking proper fangs and proper body mod fangs and stuff.
The best way to become a mod, I've become a mod many a time by slowly whittling down the streamer. Not in any channel worth it.
Yeah, you think it's going to work on me. That ain't going to fly. I am resilient to that. It's one of those things where, like, I've actually said this on stream. It's like, people who ask to become a mod will never become a mod in my channel. I work out of spite. I even said this earlier.
Don't ask for things. It's why I never asked to join the pajama party or become a pajama party lead. I just took that opportunity. Because if you ask, you don't get.
You know what? If that's the case, you can do the rejection letters for us.
I'll gladly do the rejection. I'll do rejection calls.
I was asked at one point. I was asked to do rejection letters, and I said, "Do you really want me to do that?" And Shan went, "No," because I know what you're like. I was like, "Good."
I'll do it by going into people's streams while they're live and letting them know on the air in their chat.
Oh, just go in. It's like, "Hi, I'm a representative of this party of a pajama nature. Fuck off.
Get fucked.
Get fucked.
You have no chance."
Everyone's here paperwork. You keep well, because I'm telling you, well. I only say I'll become a mod as a bit, though. That's fair, but you'll not become a mod like she used it as a bit. That's how spiteful I am. It's like one of those things where I'm like, oh, I don't want to be doing that.
Yeah, I don't know why. I saw you doing it out the corner of my eye. I was like, that seems like a bad idea.
No, this is the thing. It's all fucking habit, right? It's all fucking habit. And because it's always habit, you never really think, because it's just second nature, and then you fucking end up hurting yourself. Use reverse psychology to make sure I'll never have to deal with my responsibility. Hi, can I be a mod? No, you're never becoming a mod, Laura. That your request has been granted. You're never becoming a mod. I've been here a while. I know you from somewhere else. Interesting. I once had someone kick off for not being promoted to mod in a Discord server she run. She just assumed she deserved it better and was kicked from the server. Wow, that is fucking wild. Like, don't be that person. Never be that person.
There's no need. Like, it's something that really bothers me is entitlement.
Yeah.
Like I make jokes about things like being the pajama party lead, but can you imagine if I actually thought that because of knowing you, I deserved it? Like, that's the kind of thing that Teapot Shark's talking about. Someone that just, oh, I feel like I deserve it, therefore I do. That stuff really wicks me off.
Like, it's no. It's like one of those things where, like, if you applied to become part of the pajama party, I would have to literally say to Shance, like, I can't give my 2 cents on you because that's not impartial. Like, I would have to literally go to Shan and go,
no one could be impartial because you all love me already. So that's why I didn't do it. It wouldn't be fair.
Well, no, but in a serious sense, though, like, if you ever applied, like, and like a John Sense applied, what do you think? I'd be like, don't ask me because I'm not going to give you an impartial answer. So that's up to you and Mick, because Mick and Shan are the other people who run the team, and I'd be like, fuck off. Use folks make that decision without me, because I cannot give you an impartial answer. And while that is maybe a good sign because you will have my endorsement, it's not fair for me to do that.
Sorry. I totally forgot.
How'd you figured you would?
I have bad brain.
So yeah. Hey, lovely chat. Hope you keep well, because I'm telling you, you're looking well. I can do that though. absolutely fine now. Like the actual like
Yeah, you couldn't click the other week.
the actual wound has like progressed up my finger, so it's not near that part of my sort of movement. So it's
I don't think wounds move.
well, like the skin has reformed faster on that side.
Oh, right, okay.
So like,
I thought you meant like the wound was not here, and I'm like, that's not.
oh yeah, because like the wound was like further down that side of the finger, but like the skin regrowth has like slowly has moved up. Maybe yours don't.
He punched a gelatinous cube.
Yeah, burnt the shit out of me. Second degree to third degree burns. Sucked. No, honestly, it was fucking boiling hot water got on my hand and just tore my finger up to shreds. Fingered fire elemental. My goodness.
Spicy.
It's very spicy. I do offer to mod if I'm in a stream and notice there's a lack of moderation, but that's only if it's been part of the community for it, which makes sense. It makes sense. It's one of those things where, like, for this channel, like, I've had so many people come in and ask, can they be a mod, that I went, fuck off. I just have a blanket statement now.
Yeah, if anyone asked me if they could mod my channel or offered to mod my channel, it would immediately raise warning signals for me that I'd be like, nope.
Yeah. Like the mod process now, if anyone gets modded up, I usually, to be fair, you did mod someone once at first.
That is true.
Yeah, but it was RLL, who was a mod previously on a different platform for me. Or no, actually it was you as well. You and RL have modded 2 people upon first message. Okay, you did it twice! Yeah, but yeah, I also, yeah, done it for you as well, but like, that's different. Because I meant me, yeah, fair. Honestly, I completely forgot this is not your first account, Hunter. So I just my head just autopilot into like, yeah, it's always been that account. I've never seen him on a different account.
I honestly forgot about the other account until you just mentioned it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've just like my brain has just retconned his online and in my like community. So like that's the last I'll mention of it, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so like even now it's that Carlos.
Yeah, it's little
Carlos.
Crippled Carlos.
Oh yeah, you're telling me about his. Yeah.
Yeah. The old flat hips, that's what they call them.
Old flat hips. Yeah, but so it's one of those ones where like nowadays, unless I know the person I'm modding on a personal, like, literal face-to-face level from here, like in the country, and I've known them for some time and know I can trust them, anytime it's if I'm going to mod someone new from the community, I tend to like, essentially I run it by my other mods first. I'm like, okay, let's get your says in here, because like at the end of the day, they're going to be joining their team, so it's always good to have their say and their thoughts and opinions on shit like that.
Also, I don't want to jinx it, but I don't seem to have frozen again since I turned Spotify off. So
I noticed that, and I was like, okay, things are going good, but I also did not want to mention it just because I was like, you know.
Why are you? Don't push my keyboard with your little feet.
That
was about my cat, not PVG, by the way.
I had nowhere near your keyboard.
You can push my keyboard with your feet anytime.
Yo, I was, like Elgato released like the Stream Deck, the Stream Deck, the thing that I have there. They've released a pedal version of that.
That makes sense.
Where
I've seen people use pedal tools before for stream stuff.
Yeah,
they just had to kind of rig it up themselves.
Yeah, Elgato have like a pedal deck now that has like, I think 4 buttons that are programmable depending on like where you hit it on the pedal, because I think it's like.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but before VTubers or PNG streamers were a thing, I showed you someone that was doing it like a year or 2 before it caught on. And they were doing it before people had made easy tools to do it with. And they had like 2 decks and then like 3 pedals to like do all the stuff that people are now able to automate.
Yeah.
And I remember showing it to you at the time and being like, what this person is doing, fucking everyone's going to be doing that at some stage. And now you can't scroll down a Twitch category without being like PNG, 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 VTuber, PNG, PNG, PNG.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where like it makes sense that it did grow so wildly because like
it was rapid.
It's an interesting way to project yourself as in an aesthetic you want to be seen in, and also it's for people who privacy consciousness. They don't want their face online, so it's good.
I think it's really cool. Like I'm big on it for the privacy thing, and I also think that it suits some streamers better, and because I think some streamers have more expressive voices. And I think I'm probably one of them, that I think my voice does more work than my face does, because I often, and this sounds weird, forget I have a face, so I forget to move it.
Right.
So I'll be like expressing loads with my voice, but my expression doesn't change very much. So I can definitely see the appeal of doing that sort of thing, but I do find that if I'm looking for someone to watch or raid, I'm more likely to look for a camera.
Yeah.
Rather than an avatar.
Well, yeah, I get that, because like in my head it's one of those ones as well where I find it a bit hard to, unless I know the individual, I find it hard to resonate with an animated figure on the screen.
I find it hard to remember them. Like if I raid someone that is a PNG tuber and then I go into their channel again, I'm like, I do not remember you at all. Like the name rings a bell, but there's nothing for me, like you say, to connect with, to make it stick in my head the way like a person's face does.
It's one of those ones as well, like, and this is like and I don't want to suggest that I think this is the case widespread, but I'm also just aware that the VTuber scene is fucking toxic. The amount of racist, ableist, fucking homophobe VTubers out there is wild. Like it's a very toxic community.
So the thing is that I don't think you're wrong, but I also think that there's slightly more to it than that. I think it's that VTubers are not vloggers. People that have like an animated avatar instead of a camera, like a little character instead of a camera. I think that it's not that people who, trying to figure out how to word it the right way around. I don't think it's that like VTubers are racist, because that, and I know that's not what you're saying, but I think it's more that people who have really toxic, shitty views feel more safe espousing them when you can't see their face, because they've got the anonymity to protect them. So I think it's that people who have shitty views like that are more comfortable saying those views without a camera.
It's just I've seen them straight up say racist shit online as
VTubers.
Yeah, and by and large it's one of those things where I see it more often in that community and space.
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, I think you're going to see it more often there because people have a higher level of anonymity, so they feel safer saying those things. They're less likely to face real consequences.
Yeah.
I think that it's not that there's a higher population of like racists or homophobes or transphobes in that community. I think it's just that the people who are like that, who are in that community, feel safer saying it out loud. So you're more likely to hear it, but I don't think the percentage is higher, if that makes sense.
Maybe so, but then I keep running into it in swaths, and like mass swaths. This is the problem that I'm saying is that like when I look,
you're still encountering it. It doesn't matter where it's coming from.
I'm encountering it in higher quantities.
Yeah.
And I think what you're saying is right, but as Hunter is saying there, it's because of that effect, more people are doing it.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
And like I've seen it go from racism, I've seen it happen with specifically racism, specifically transphobia, specifically ableism. Like it's fucking awful, and I sometimes wince when I see a VTuber, because I'm like, okay, are you one of the ones that like feels comfortable doing this and getting away with it because you're a VTuber, or are you actually like one of the decent ones? And I do then end up with that discomfort of trying to watch VTubers, because I'm like, I'm just waiting for the fucking bomb to drop.
The way that I approach it, which is not perfect but is kind of the best thing I've found so far, is generally speaking, I don't watch or read anyone who doesn't have this, but specifically VTubers or PNG streamers or whatever. If you don't have queer tags, I ain't on board. Because that is at least a sign to me that you are less likely to be hopefully homophobic and transphobic, and hopefully less likely to be horrible in other fields. Yeah, like if someone doesn't have queer tags, or I don't already know them, they ain't getting a view or a raid from me, and that's kind of the best I've been able to do so far.
Did we just lose him again, or have I lost?
When they have anonymity, or I think I've frozen again.
You're back though.
Again. Okay. People, when they have anonymity, will use it to say awful shit, either because they believe it and they're now like, I can say it, no one can stop me, or because it's like that thrill of getting to say the thing you're not supposed to say, even if they don't believe it, but the effect is the same. And we used to see it all the time on the internet in chat spaces and forums, because it was much less common back in our youth on the internet that you would ever see someone's face, that you had cameras or even microphones. It was almost all text based. It felt like that dropped off a little bit as more and more people started using cameras and microphones, but a shift towards people using avatars instead does seem like it's taking it the other direction a little bit.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, is like I'm seeing it directly on Twitch's spaces. I'm seeing it in Twitter, which is not surprising, Twitter for fuck's sake, but I'm seeing it like directly on Twitch and shit, and I'm seeing like the worst part is I'm seeing it from pretty big fucking like VTubers as well. It's not even like it's at all levels. These people have just absolutely too much confidence in saying what they're saying, and the problem is that then that galvanizes a large toxic fan base, and I'm always just very fucking I'm always very much like, I don't know if I want to even interact and check this out, because like, you know, and again, this is annoying. It's like, man, I've seen some of these folks do and say some shit because they have that confidence of being behind an avatar. And they are more comfortable fucking doing it. And so like, I do have like, unless I know the VTuber, unless I know people who know the VTuber, I'm sometimes a little bit hesitant to even go check them out, because I'm like, I don't want to have to invest a half an hour of my time just trying to suss out if you're a bad person or not.
Yeah, the only one that I've particularly, and Laura mentioned them there, that I've particularly like struck up a relationship with through finding them was a streamer called I Can Be Your Queero, which is a great name, which gave me like
his internet's absolutely fucking destroyed him today.
Okay, probably at your times. I'm frozen again.
I think you're back.
I am back. I just stopped moving. A hilarious jape that I played. So yeah, I've also gone into streams with people who usually, when they don't have a camera on their face, but sometimes even then, where I'm just like, what makes you think that's all right to say? Who hasn't punched you yet? Because they should.
Yeah.
You can tell people who've never been punched.
Yeah, I mean, people who've never took a punch to the face often are the most confident individuals ever, aren't they? Like, because they don't know the consequences of their actions or their words, which is you know, in real life, that's a consequence and an action that happens to you. Like, it's one of those things where like we have quite a few PNG and VTubers on the Pajama Party, and it's the one, and it's one of those ones where like if they're friends with them, I'm usually comfortable. It's like, all right, they know you.
Yeah, someone has vouched for you.
There's almost like they have vouched for them. But like going into just random streams on Twitch, like sometimes if I see if I don't know if I don't have a connective string to that individual, I'm like, and it's gonna sound awful, but I'm just like, I just don't know if I have time, and I don't want to. I just don't want to invest the time, because again, could be a half an hour. Like, I mean, you know, it's just. Man, anonymity is great because obviously we like to have a little bit of like ourselves privacy kept.
Yeah, but people treat anonymity as immunity, and
Yeah.
I don't think that should be the case.
Yeah.
You know, if you're, I mean, one of the problems is that Twitch overall is so thinly and poorly moderated from Twitch, rather than like within channels by moderation teams. And I get that it's extremely difficult because of the size of the platform, the number of channels that are active at any one time.
Yeah.
But too much stuff goes unpunished, and then stuff that you're like, really, that's what you're cracking down on, is just like,
the platform has been shit for so many years, and it's because it had a shit CEO for many years. It's weird, like Dan Clancy has become the CEO of Twitch, and in the last 6 months I've seen Twitch become better under him, and I'm like, because he actually is a CEO who streams.
Yeah, I've only recently started to kind of learn a little bit about them, so I'm not as up on it as you would be, but I believe the consensus is slightly hopeful.
Yeah, like Dan Clancy is actually like a guy who, it's under Dan Clancy we can multi-stream and stuff now. Dan Clancy's the one who is like understanding that the platform needs to be platform agnostic and not fucking platform fucking atheist, if you know what I mean. So we're allowed to actually interact and indulge in their platforms, and it's not like it's not one sort of concentrated thing. And he's been a bit better about communicating things and trying to get stuff done and actually talking to the streamers and getting to know the streamers. And it's the first time in maybe about 6 years of Twitch where a CEO actually acknowledged they were the CEO of Twitch. Because the other guy didn't. Like, you looked at the other guy's fucking Twitter and stuff and never said he was the CEO of Twitch or anything, and he didn't claim it. And it's like, cool, so you're you run Twitch but don't give a fuck about it, and like finally
you don't even want anyone to know that you're doing it.
Yeah. So where it's like, now it's actually a person who actually gives a fuck about the platform. We're starting to see better changes on the platform. By no means is it perfect yet, or even close to perfect.
No, but it's a big platform to try and enact change on, especially when it's deeply not profitable.
Yeah, it's really not. Like, I mean, God, I mean, fuck, I wonder if I could, like, I mean, I could probably show you how much it, like, I could probably show you how much it costs to just run our stream, and it would fucking shock you. Like, I learned this the other day, and it was crazy. I wonder if I wonder if I can find it.
My hair's doing something wild. I am listening to you, but I'm also paying attention to myself.
So, like, I was wondering, like, I was watching, there's a big streamer called Pirate Software, and he's cool. His like dad is like the South Park episode where it's like the guy on this Warcraft episode, it's like the fucking guy in the gray shirt, and
yeah,
that was based off of his dad. They put his dad into the episode. His dad worked for Blizzard and stuff, and like he now is like his own person. He's his own like fucking content creator and stuff.
He's his own person.
His own person. You know what I mean? Like, his own like public figure and stuff. Now he's been a game developer. He's went into game developer / streamer and stuff. He's called Pirate Software. He's actually quite smart, quite intelligent, and he showed like a thing that would break down the costs of like how much it costs just to like, you know, like how much it costs to like fucking basically run a fucking stream. And I'm trying to work out where the fucking,
I mean, like, whatever it is, if you then think about how many streams there are at any one time that have no viewers,
yeah,
which, and I'm not, this isn't about the people who are streaming and don't have viewers, because it's fucking hard to get your channel off the ground. It's really difficult.
Yeah.
But from like a business perspective, from Twitch's perspective, they're running all of those streams at a loss because no one is watching ads in those streams, no one is subbing, no one is using bits. So those streams are just a drain.
Yeah.
And that's what's great and bad about Twitch, is in terms of, if you want to stream on Twitch, the accessibility is great. If you get yourself the base equipment, you can start.
Yeah.
But from a business perspective, from Twitch's side, that means there's a lot of people streaming who don't make any money for the platform and in fact cost the platform money. There are, I don't know how many people, easily tens and tens and tens of thousands of people who are streaming that only cost the platform money.
Yeah. Like we're technically costing the platform money right now.
Yeah. Like I don't know what the metric would be for them to view, because every channel gets subs at a different rate, plays ads at a different rate, gets bits at a different rate. So I don't know what metrics they use to determine whether a channel for them has broken even. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know what way they break it down. But from their point of view, it's like, we want streamers to be big and do well because it does well for the platform. So to do that, we need to encourage people to do it. But by encouraging people to do it, we get a lot of people that are never going to make it, and that costs us more money than the big streamers make us. And it's a really difficult thing for them to try and figure out how to balance. I don't know what the answer is, because if you try and restrict people from doing it, you're not going to find those people that kind of break out. And I don't know what the criteria would be to judge whether someone can use the platform before they start using the platform. Like, there's no route to it that makes sense to me.
So, like, I was just looking there on the costs. Like, see, for like 10 viewers, say like 10 viewers for 4 hours. Mm-hmm. Guess how much that costs for like just Amazon
and
Twitch? I wouldn't
have the first clue. I'm going to say, $613 punts, the old Irish currency.
Okay, it's about 250 quid for 4 hours at an average of 10 viewers at 1080p.
Yeah, which no channel with 10 viewers is going to make. No channel with 10 viewers is going to make that much money back for Twitch.
Yeah, and that's why Twitch is so fucking like. That's why Twitch is so fucking like. Heavy with their ads right now, because they have to make money back now. Like if we're not getting subs and bits, stuff that they can skim something off the top of, they have to get it for ads. And it's one of those things where
you
like
can't play
of
enough ads in that space of time to 10 people to even come close to making that money back without saturating it so much that no one wants to watch it anymore.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where, like, that's why they push those ads, and that's why I'm kind of like, I get ads are evil, but, like, we kind of fucking need them. If we need the platform, like, where we're going to fucking go. And, like, it's a necessary fucking evil. Now, we're not going to recoup our costs back, but what happens is that the cost gets recouped back in bigger streams where, yes, the cost of per individual, per thing is going to change essentially and increase because of the higher viewership at a certain thing model.
More subs,
but more subs, bits, more
people that you're running ads to,
that then bring up that basically raise the fucking like, you know, it up so that the cost overflows and covers the cost of us smaller streamers, which is wild. Now, they do have a plan to get rid of that, and I told you about that the other, like, last week. And what they're doing is they're working with NVIDIA to do multi-surface encoding, where we can encode multiple versions of our streams, like 5 different versions of our streams at free, like 60p, 420, 720, 1080, and like 4K, like 5 or 6 different versions, and we at basically fuck all cost to our encoding, and then it uploads it onto Twitch without then them having to like encode it any further, and then have multiple versions of streams so that people on lower bandwidths can still watch our streams at whatever chosen like, you know, fucking bitrate they want to. And the idea is that
the lower bit rates cost them less.
Yeah, it's because what the cost of the encoding is taking that fucking. It's essentially taking our 1080p feed and creating a fucking 720p version of it, a fucking 420, a 360, a 120, and that cost is there. So what's happening is they're going to start doing that and working with that, so that within OBS, all the encoding is going to be done on a local level with minimal effect to us, but then reduce the fucking server cost that happens in Twitch, which then hopefully reduces the requirement for ads. But like, ads are sadly And I hate that ads
My
are a necessity.
experience with any platform is that once a platform rolls out ads to any degree, they never scale back. It's stopping it from getting worse, but they will never scale back to a previous version of ads.
Maybe
because
not.
You
maybe
can't.
not.
Any board of directors, any investors will just be like, "What, you want to make less money? No.
Maybe so, but like it's oh fuck, he's froze. Oh, he's back. You froze for a second, and you came back. He's like,
okay. The other thing I've seen is that I know that he has said that he wants to focus less on the biggest streamers and more on like the mid-sized streamers, which I think makes perfect sense. The big streamers are already big; they're already making you money. You can't make them that much bigger.
No.
And the more you focus on them, the more they realize, okay, you really need me to stick around. So that gives me room to push back on what my profit share split is, and it means that I can get a big payout from whatever the newest rival is to go stream there for 2 months before it collapses and then come back.
Yeah.
Whereas if you focus on the mid-sized streamers, you help them build, so you are actually then potentially increasing profits.
Yeah.
And you're building a relationship with those mid-sized streamers so that by the time they get big and the newest platform that will die within 2 months comes around to them, they'll be like, actually, no, I'm pretty happy with the guys that helped sort me out.
Yeah. Hey, Transplant, we keep because I'm telling you, looking well. And you're right, because like he did say he wants to try and help people actually make their careers. He understands discoverability and that making a career as a streamer is harder than ever, and he wants to try and. It's like
before it was the Hogan era where it was all the top guys.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at a guy that is like, what about NXT?
Yeah.
What if we did NXT? What if we built people before they got big?
Yeah. And so it's like, we understand you guys want to make careers. Let's make your career here. But he's also trying to not be platform atheist so that he understands that we will let you go wherever you want to go. We just want to make sure that the home of live streaming is its best here so that this is where you'll do it.
Yeah, that you'll want to be here.
Yeah. So it's fucking wild. And I agree with Hunter. Kill the 1%. There's just 100%. The inner massive socialist in me is like, yep, fucking end them bastards' lives. Because obviously,
I love socialism.
I do. Great segue to PVW. PVW is weird at the minute. I'm so behind on certain things of fucking wrestling. It's been too much.
I haven't watched any wrestling yet this year. Although I did earlier today watch an interview with one Brian Pillman Jr., now Lexis King.
Yes.
Which was interesting because he was saying how much he prefers the NXT/WWE system compared to the AEW system. That he's like, I never have to pitch anything ever again. I never have to write anything. I just get to focus on being the best character that I am and being the best. There we go.
Welcome back.
Sorry.
It's all good. Your internet's just not playing ball today.
I know, it's really frustrating me. That he was basically like, I just have to focus on my in-ring stuff and my mic stuff, and that's it. And that means that I can get really good at those things rather than worrying about being good at creative as well, which not every wrestler is good at. And I just thought it was really interesting hearing him praise that system that so many of the wrestlers who went to AEW were like, oh, I'm so glad to get out of that system. And it kind of highlighted to me that thing of like, it is good that there's more than one wrestling company again. Just different approaches suit different wrestlers, and it's good to have them all.
Yeah.
Like, people like the Bucks in that system in WWE would be so frustrated. But someone like Lexis King might do well from it.
Yeah, like some people are not natural storytellers, which is a weird thing to say as a wrestler. They're great in-ring performers. They're not storytellers in a sense
like
of
they're
promos.
They're not writers.
Yeah,
it's like coming up with ideas is hard.
Yeah, so when I say storytellers, I mean like promos. So they're not great at doing promos in the sense of they can't like they don't have naturally creative charisma in the sense of like they can act whatever you put in front of them, but they can't on the fly create a captivating narrative without necessarily
Well,
having.
they can get halfway there. That I'm gonna sneeze. I can feel it. Don't you go away, you son of a bitch.
I hate when that happens.
Oh, it's gone away. That they can get halfway there.
Mhm.
So if you look at Brian Pillman Jr., he was the one that pitched the Varsity Blondes.
Mm-hmm.
And he was also the one that pitched the name. And he was also the one that pitched Julia joining the Varsity Blondes. All of those are good ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the fact that they weren't heels.
That was
That
stupid.
that should have been a heel group. It would have been such an effective heel group. Why the fuck were they baby faces?
I can only assume, and this is my guess, is that they wanted to take some of the shine that was his dad's tag team, the Hollywood Blondes, with Steve Austin, who were heels, and they wanted to take a bit of an homage to that, but wanted to be not fully a new version of that because they wanted to separate himself slightly from that. Because he did say in that interview as well is that he doesn't like necessarily being Brian Pillman Jr. because once you hear the word Brian Pillman, you don't think Jr., you think of the man in the 90s and the 80s.
Which is a fair point. Pork, that's the delay coming into play. We've just answered that question before you even asked it. And I agree with that. Like, I think debuting the Varsity Blondes in that light is a good idea. And then 3 weeks later, you do a heel turn.
Yeah.
Because that's what that faction should be. You've got people clinging to being high school and college varsity jocks and being blonde and pretty. And you're trying to sell that to me as something that I should like? No. Not going to happen.
No.
And it's funny that the smartest person out of that group has ended up being Julia. Because Julia was the one that went, yeah, sure, I'll take that opportunity. And then immediately started going, right, great, used it, got TV time. Next thing, what comes after this?
Yeah.
And went and approached Malachi as like, do you need a weird blonde chick? And it's like, yeah, that's a good idea. Look at your career. It's doing better now.
Yeah, now TBS champion.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing is that like, that is evidence of someone that knows what trajectory their career should be on and is able to make pitches that serve them well.
Mm-hmm.
Which is exactly what Lexus King was saying he couldn't do reliably. Mm-hmm. Like, I appreciated seeing that self-awareness there, that he was like, yeah, I like that I don't have to do that anymore. I'm going to focus on this shit. And it's like, fair play. Like, knowing what you're not good at is a strength.
Yeah, 100%. And like, it works better for some people, and it works because and it's not. I don't want to sound like I'm criticizing when I say it, but like, some people are just, as I said, they're not creative in the sense of like they can be very good in one aspect, but as soon as they are like put into a live mic situation, they're not creative in that way. Where some people are fucking phenomenal on the mic, and their in-ring stuff kind of shit. Honestly, like
shit or passable, either one.
Bastard in New York City.
Yeah, that's a fucking good quote. Like, I'll tell you right now, this is going to be a bit of probably a hot take that some people are not going to like me saying this here. Rock, phenomenal on the mic. Rock in ring, kind of dog shit.
So, I think it depends on what lens you're viewing in-ring performance through, because there's different ways you can look at whether someone is good in the ring or not. Was Rock a great technical wrestler?
No.
Was Rock a convincing brawler?
No.
Was Rock great at selling? Sometimes. It depended. There were instances where he was really good and then instances where he wasn't.
Yeah.
Was Rock compelling to watch in the ring despite all of that? Yes.
Yeah, but That's what I mean, but he's not a good wrestler, if you know what I mean. He's not a good...
Yes, no, he's not a good technical wrestler, but he was a good in-ring performer.
Yeah.
And those aren't quite the same thing, which is why I was like, it depends on kind of what angle you're looking at.
Like, because like what I'm saying is like when I look at like that there, it's like Rock can get you into the he can get people into the building, and he can talk people into the building. But
he could tell a story through a match.
But like you put him in the likes of like Ring of Honor, Impact these days, Impact Wrestling, or fucking New Japan, or
I think you mean TNA.
Oh yeah, well no, Impact, they still have the show Impact.
Oh yes, they have the show Impact, but the brand is TNA.
Yeah, so you got
okay.
So like,
I think you slightly lawyered me on that one, but you did it well, so I'll give it to you.
So like you could put like New Japan, like fucking Progress in the UK or anything. Like he would do shit. Like he's not.
That's not what he does.
He couldn't do that.
But that's one of the things that I really like about wrestling is that you get people who are great at different things. Because if everyone was great at everything, nobody would be great at anything.
Yeah.
And if everybody was great but only in one area, but that area was the same for everybody, it would be boring to watch as well. I want people that are good at different things. I want people who when they come out on the mic, I'm more excited for them on the mic than other things in the other people on the mic in the show. Like when MJF comes out on the mic, I'm more hyped for that than anyone else being on the mic in the show, even if I enjoyed what they did on the mic.
Thing is though, MJF can actually wrestle though as well.
He's good at everything.
Yeah, he's weird.
It's not right.
It's not right. He literally is amazing in ring, amazing on the mic. Like he is he's so, it's so annoying because like he will call himself a generational talent, and the worst part is that no, he fucking is though. Like he's cocky, but he is.
Yeah, he is that good. Now, part of what certainly of the AEW stuff that I have watched so far that has served him well, that is clever storytelling and means that he's always fresh when he has a match, is that he never wrestled that often.
No.
At least of the stuff that I've watched. Not so rarely that you felt like it was a Brock Lesnar situation, but he wasn't in the ring every week in his gear. You would hear him talk, he would do bits, he would have a match every once in a while, but it meant that when a big match came around, he was fresh, he was in good shape, and you were interested to see it, and you also forgot how good he was.
Yeah.
So it served the idea of the heel character who actually isn't that great in the ring and needs help to win well. It then surprised you when he got in the ring and you're like, oh fuck yeah, no, he is good though. He could win. He could just win on his own if he wanted to.
Yeah, he's just a very good wrestler as well as a good talker. He is the whole package, the fucking asshole.
He really, really is. And people talk about like, oh, if he had gotten on Tough Enough, like how differently would his career have gone? And I honestly, even though people are like, oh, he would do great in WWE, and I think he would do great in WWE today.
Yeah.
I don't see him getting as good as he is now if he had started there.
Yeah, no. The way they train, the style they develop is so different that like you can be kind of average in WWE in all capacities, but like there's a lot of support structures in place.
I think that's one of the things about all the support structures in WWE is that it doesn't encourage anyone to become great at anything. It encourages you to be a good hand and a good all-rounder. But unless you are already really specifically talented in one area, I'm sure you will be able to think of some. I can't think of anyone who started in NXT, as in wasn't on the indies first, who started NXT that you can point to a thing that's like they're one of the best at that now. There's loads of people that have come through NXT that are fucking amazing, but I can't think of too many that started their career there that I'm like they're one of the best at whatever it is.
No, anyone who's came from NXT that's been like maybe Bianca Belair, but like, I mean, Bianca Belair is really great in ring,
But again,
but her
like,
mic skills are not necessarily.
I would say, is Bianca Belair one of the best in the ring, or is she just really, really good?
She's really, really good, but I feel like with Bianca Belair, there's people who are better. Like, as actual wrestlers, like Becky Lynch, like, in my opinion, fucking just miles, leagues ahead of her. As much as, like, it's annoying to admit, Charlotte Flair is leagues ahead of her. The problem is Charlotte Flair's been kind of pushed too hard, and it's almost like
she got Cena treated.
Cena syndrome with her. Like, she is just really good in the ring, but people get pissed off with Charlotte because, like, when you see Charlotte, it's like, oh, Charlotte wins.
I definitely like. I haven't watched WWE in years, but I continue to hear better and better things about it from people I know that watch wrestling and watch WWE specifically.
Bailey's probably the one I would say, like, NXT.
Did she start in NXT, or
I think she was. You're sure she was, like, her and Mercedes Moné, but like she's flew the coop currently.
Yeah,
like they're was it like New Jersey or New York? Them two went at the time of Sasha Banks, formerly, and Bailey, and they just blew the roof off the place. It's weirdly it's on the women's division that, like, the NXT has had more better like officially homegrown talent.
Yeah, that is true. That's interesting, isn't it? But I suppose,
but on the men's side, it's anyone who's ever been phenomenal that's came out of NXT have been indie stars or other promotion stars.
The indie scene in general, is not as women's focused, so it makes sense that there are fewer women that have come through the indies and gone through NXT, and that's a reflection of the industry as a whole, not on female wrestlers.
It's hard to say.
There's always rumors of everything.
Yeah, like, it's hard to say, Pork. I've seen rumors of her being closer to AEW than WWE, but at this point it's really a coin toss.
Yeah, I've heard rumors as well. I'm not up to date enough to know what the crack with any of it really is. But yeah, I've been hearing continually better things about WWE, that it's like, yep, someone who is not a senile rapist is running creative. And apparently that makes a difference.
Yeah, who would have thought that, like, old man who shouts at Sky and doesn't know what a burrito is actually bad for the company, and now being removed from the company is a good thing.
Yep. It's the Rumble in, like, what, a week
or so. Yeah, like, I keep forgetting it's like a Rumble so soon. Like, I've been my pulse has not been my finger's not been on the pulse really all that well with the weekly stuff at the minute. Like, life is just weird. I just have not been conscious at all. Hey Nemo, because I'm telling you, you're looking well. But like, when it comes to the weeklies and stuff, yeah, I'm even behind on the weeklies at the minute because I'm just, like, so fucking, like, airheady at the minute. you know.
Plus, it's a lot of content to try and keep up with when you're busy with other things.
Yeah, like, I mean, AEW alone delivers 6 hours of content a week bare minimum.
Yeah, I don't need that much.
I stick to Dynamite for the most part, and if I feel like watching Collision, I'll watch it.
Don't forget Rampage.
Rampage, sadly, is the forgettable one.
Yeah. Will we move over to our Monster of the Week, though?
Yes. Can you give me a wee piss break, if that is okay?
I can give you a wee piss break, because I need to sort out the tiny URL anyway, so you go ahead.
Folks, I'll be back in a second. I'm going to piss all over the place. It's going to be great.
I mean, maybe keep it in the toilet.
All over the place.
Your call. It's your house. You do what you want. Bear with me, guys, while I get this ready, because I should have done it already, but I didn't. in much the same way that I did not do the chore that I promised my wife I
Resident
would do.
underscore
because
hunter
I am
allegedly proclaims piss piss piss
terrible
piss
person.
piss 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 piss.
We didn't do a monster of the week last week. I've realised now that if I
piss
freeze, you guys get nothing.
piss.
We didn't do a monster of the week last week because we were busy just kind of catching up with each other. It had been a long break. But we've got one this week. So for those of you that missed deciding whether you're going to fuck a monster or not, got you covered. I suspect I know the answer for this one. I usually know the answer. I don't think I've been surprised too often. Once or twice, but not often. I don't have a good idea when I look at the art what way people are gonna swing, and people mostly swing into the monster's butthole. Thank you, Pork. It is getting quite long again. Like, it used to be long, like hippie long. But did the classic lockdown head shave, you know, as we all lost our minds. And it's just coming back in now. The monster is swinging into you. Well, absolutely. Justice for bottoms. That's 100% fair. 100% monster butthole. That was my nickname in school. What is his little... So his little symbol is for being a 79-month subscriber. Damn. I've never seen that one before. It's not a super large monster. I didn't want to come in swinging with one that is like 6 pages long after we've been away for a while. But hopefully it's one you all enjoy. Hopefully you like it. I can't hear that, but I bet it's great. I mean, I could hear it if I put the sound on, but then I would hear myself as well. And that's awful. It just made me a bit sick. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I went on to D&D Beyond earlier today to get a monster for tonight. And it was like, oh, new book. Do you want to buy the new book? No. No one wants to buy your books anymore because they've all gotten shit and are full of AI art and you're a terrible company. And the only reason that we still do D&D Monster of the Weeks is because I own content from previous years that is like, well, it's there. I'll use it. Mainly for art. Mainly for art of what the fuck. But I think I might... I don't know how we would do it. Because I do have a bunch of Pathfinder books digitally. I'm pretty sure.
Screenshots. You send me the screenshots via Discord, and then we could just bring them up onto like the video or the screen I'm sharing, and we can look at it that way.
Yeah, I would just have to rename the file something else before I sent it to you, so you didn't know what it was.
Just some sort of gibberish or something, you know?
I'll have to look through those files and see if I can find something just so that we're platforming WotC a little less. That would be good.
I have no problem platforming WotC if we can do it in a way that's piratey.
Well, I mean, we technically offer people the
the
option to pirate their content every time we do Monster of the Week, because we go, here's the monster stat block and lore. You could take a screenshot if you wanted to.
Yes, but yes, I was watching and interacting slightly from the realms of the toilet. So
I liked it. I like when you're in my toilet realms.
The toilet realms. So yeah. But yes, I am all for some Monster of the Week now. I am just wondering if I'll be able to go into it right away, because you know the case with the old logins and shit.
You should be okay for this one. This one is a basic rules boy, so you should hopefully be alright.
He's just a poor little boy. So if I do screen on screen, what? And look at that there. I've even fixed it so that we have the chat and stuff still on screen with us and all. I've been a constructive little boy. Who the fuck?
I don't like it when you refer to yourself as a little boy, because it makes me feel weirder about wanting to kiss you.
As long as I'm an appropriate age, nothing wrong with being a little boy. Little doesn't have to mean age; it can mean height and stature.
Okay. Yes,
it
stands for Pussy Vaginal Gaming.
There was a bunch of ones that were invented for PVG. There was Hunter, you know them. Yeah, Pussy, Vape, and Gerbil, yes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Funny enough, Gerbil was one of my first pets.
Penile Vor gifts.
Ooh.
Pretty Vampire Girl. That's a good one.
Yeah. The real monster is capitalism, by the way, according to our...
The real monster is capitalism. Yeah.
According to our thing here.
So today's monster of the week is capitalism and XQC. You know what you did, you son of a bitch. It's why you have to
what? When I was playing V Rising, what was her name?
Oh, you're Pretty Vampire Girl?
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
I don't remember, so I'm going to guess.
Something Van Gaming. It was something Van Gaming. I can't remember the P word though.
Persephone Van Gaming?
I think it was Persephone Van Gaming, yeah, or something like that. We don't want to fuck capitalism though. I mean,
we want to fuck capitalism in the way that you're like, man, fuck capitalism.
Depends how we go about it.
I don't want to make love to capitalism.
I no. Sadly, it's a system we have to indulge purely on the basis that we need to eat and sleep comfortably. But you know, hate fucking it is an option.
Yeah, we could hate fuck capitalism.
Right, are we ready to? Am I ready to hit the enter key, or do you want to count down?
It's up to you.
Oh, okay. Well,
only you know when you're ready.
Okay, well, I'm gonna hit it now.
Okay, today's monster of the week, if it loads, which hopefully it will, is the Hydra.
Hydra. Hydra. Hydra.
What is it again, Matt?
Hydra.
Sorry, can you say it for me again, Matt?
Hydra.
Thanks, Matt. What about it again?
Hydra.
Thanks.
Here's me. Smash. Yeah, I was pretty sure that would be the response to this. Do you want to bring that Hydra art up?
Yes, of course.
Bag for us.
Look at that. That's at least 2 heads.
There are at least 2 heads there. There's at least 1 head.
Yeah.
At least. So yes, classic Hydra. We all know it from Greek mythology. I will say the D&D version has like a longer body than I would have expected, but I'm not into it.
Yeah, actually.
And I also appreciate that the tail splits into multiple tails in the same way that it has multiple heads. Do a lot with that.
So it does. Holy shit!
It's a nice little feature.
That's cool.
It's like starts as one tail and then splits.
That's cool. I like that.
Initial thoughts. How are we feeling?
It looks cool. I'm wondering if it has the... Is it a Greek legend or Greek mythology where like you split the head?
It is Greek mythology.
And you split the head and it grows it grows 2 more or multiple more. I wonder if it...
That is part of the myth, yes.
Yeah.
Whether it's part of that block or not, you will have to wait to find out.
That's what I'm curious to find out then, essentially. But yes, I think my first introduction to the mythos of a Hydra was, funny enough, the Hercules Disney movie.
Great movie.
So yeah, I'm digging it.
Versatile, nice.
Versatile.
Yeah, I chose the Hydra because I am, as you know, working on starting a City of Mist game, which we talked about last week. So I've been doing lots of looking through, like, why am I so high up?
He does that and immediately his feed freezes. This poor lad he's so butt fucked by the fucking goddamn internet service.
There we go.
He's back.
I don't know when I got cut off.
You're talking about why you were so high, but then we're also talking about the Disney movie of Hercules.
Yes. Which is a great movie. So what I was saying was, as you know, I'm starting a City of Mist type of host game system we talked about last week, where people can become rifts of fucking anything.
Yes.
So I've been doing a lot of looking at like classic myths, literature, fairy tales, like anything that I'm like, oh, a person could be a rift of this or a rift of that or whatever. And I was thinking about things that I would like to play, and I talked last week about Rift of the Final Girl. Like, that would be fun.
Yeah.
But I've always really loved the Hydra as a monster. So I was like, oh, someone who was a rift of the Hydra could be kind of cool.
That could be cool.
And that made me go, oh yeah, I'll do Hydra for our Monster of the Week, because it's a classic, and I don't think we've done it yet. I've kind of lost track of which ones we haven't done. I should have kept the list, but I didn't. So yeah, on the art, I like that the different heads have like different fins. Like they're not copies of each other, they're all slightly different in terms of the shape of the head and the teeth and the fin placement. They're all slightly different.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that. And I'm a big fan of the split tail. I always love
cool.
Something that does things a little bit differently. What challenge rating do you think a Hydra would be?
Oof, that's an interesting one. Challenge rating on a Hydra? Maybe an 8?
That is exactly what challenge rating a Hydra is.
Really?
I think that's the first time you've ever guessed bang on. What kind of creature do you think a Hydra is? And I can remind you of the creature types if you need me to.
Not a lich. Not a undead. I think it's the same thing. Not a ooze. I don't think it's a standard animal or beast. Not an illusion. Well, it's not really illusion, is there? Not a dragon. No, it couldn't be a dragon. Monstrosity?
Okay, you're back. I was frozen, which meant that on my screen you were frozen, but you were frozen in a way that looked like you were doing a cum face. And then the sound started to glitch out, and I just kept hearing you go, nah. And I was like, ha 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 ha.
I went for all the ones I could
porn.
think of or could remember, but like I was like, is it a dragon? I was like, nah, it can't be a dragon. Monstrosity?
It's not a dragon. It is a monstrosity.
Okay.
It is a challenge rating 8 monstrosity. And we do have some lore for it if you want to skim on down to the lore.
Not a lot, but it's there.
Which is a bit different from the Greek version, because they've sort of further D&D fantasized it.
It's babe, that's what it is.
It is a babe. So the Hydra is a reptilian horror with a crocodilian, which is a word I've always enjoyed. Crocodilian. Crocodilian body and multiple heads on long serpentine necks. Although its heads can be severed, the Hydra magically regrows them in short order. The Hydra is a reptilian horror with a crocodilian body. Again, that word. And it just repeats the same thing. I don't know why it repeats the same segment. Do you have both those segments? Oh no, I've got an extra bit because I'm logged in. I've got a whole extra section, so I will read that to you.
Okie dokie.
So this is basically what the D&D lore for where Hydras come from is. At the dawn of time, Tiamat, the queen of evil dragons, slew a rival dragon god named Lernea and cast her blood across the multiverse. Each drop that fell upon a world spawned a multi-headed Hydra consumed by a hunger as great as the fallen god's hatred. Great champions are known to test their mettle against these fearsome creatures, so they are blood cells of a dead god that grew into big baby fake dragons.
That's cool. That's cool.
A rapacious and gluttonous monster, a Hydra snatches and tears apart its prey in a frenzy of feeding. When a Hydra has cleared a territory of food and driven off any creatures smart enough to avoid it, it moves on to seek its meals elsewhere. A Hydra's hunger is so great that if it can't feed, it might turn against itself, its heads attacking each other as the creature eats itself alive.
Self-cannibalism, essentially.
Yeah, it just starts eating its own heads.
That is wild.
In theory, makes more heads. So I can see why it would be like, this is fine to do, because...
Yeah, I get it, because like at that point, it's like there's no, like if you're eating something that's going to regrow anyway, it's an unlimited source of nutrition for yourself, even if it is self-nutrition, which is kind of like, you know, wild.
But then also like, does the process of growing new heads burn through calories, in which case you're spending more energy regenerating heads than you are getting from eating the heads.
That's deep.
It is. But also Hydras are natural swimmers, which is kind of cute. dwelling in rivers, along lake shores, in ocean shallows, and in wetland bogs. A hydra rarely requires shelter from the elements, so it doesn't normally have a lair. Only in colder climates are hydras drawn to the protection of sheltered caverns and ruins. Also, when a hydra sleeps, at least one of its heads remains awake and alert, making the creature difficult to catch by surprise.
Just so
So
what
they
lovely
take-
Shannon said there, it just made me laugh.
I think they all just attack each other. I don't think there's any. I don't think it's like Survivor. Although I would appreciate it if it was. So yeah, whenever a Hydra goes to sleep, the heads take turns being on watch, the same as an adventuring party does, which I think is kind of cute.
That makes sense.
How do you keep?
I often ask the same question, chat.
I have a hair bobble that for some reason Carlos is obsessed with. I don't know why. Yeah, so that's the lore for the Hydra, of where it comes from and the way it behaves. It's mostly like not anything you wouldn't, aside from the made from the drops of blood of a dead dragon god. The rest of it you would kind of figure out just from the art or the stat block or knowing your myths a little bit. But it's nice to have kind of something there.
Yeah.
Any takeaways from the lore, or you're right?
I mean, like, the lore seems like the additional sort of the additional sort of, like, I don't know, like, you couldn't call Faerun. What's the just general D&D universe
Forgotten
called?
Realms.
Forgotten Realms, yeah. That's like, obviously it's an interesting element of the Forgotten Realms itself in there, with the blood of a dead dragon god spilling across the multiverse and the lands of which its blood is saturated into is interesting. But for the most part, it seems relatively in line with like Greek mythos that I'm aware of, which is cool. Like I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah, they haven't really changed anything about like, okay, what does a Hydra do and how does it behave? It's just this is where they come from.
Yeah.
That's the only bit they've kind of tweaked. As for the stats, though, a Hydra is a huge monstrosity. He's a big boy.
Big lad.
Has no alignment. It's just hungry. Its alignment is hunger. And
That's
I relate
fair.
to that.
That's fair.
It has a natural armor class of 15, which is okay. It's not bad. 172 hit points, which is reasonably chunky. For a level 8 enemy, it's reasonably chunky. Movement speed at 30, swim speed also of 30. But it says in the lore they're natural swimmers, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Strength 20, strong boy.
Makes sense.
Dexterity 12, which I assume is because it's got like a crocodile body and then the heads get in each other's way.
That makes sense. It's going to get out. It's going to get in front of itself a little bit.
Yeah. Constitution 20. So
Makes sense.
very beefy. Intelligence 2, which is super low. Like, that is real low.
I think I get why though.
Yeah, like you might go, oh, but as it grows more heads, does it get smarter? It's like, no, it just has more heads.
No, in my mind, it gets less intelligent because it's having to split its intelligence and consciousness across more heads.
In my mind, each head has its own consciousness. So they're then struggling against each other over what they want to do. But it still amounts to the intelligence being effectively low. Wisdom of 10, which is just neutral, like no negative or positive. Charisma of 7, which I'm sure you'll disagree with.
Add a 10 onto that would make more sense.
Do you think that it gets more charismatic as you add more heads?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Like, that's just more people, that's just more entities to be charmed by.
Oh, goodness. It has perception plus 6 because it has multiple heads to look out for things, so that makes sense. It has dark vision out to 60 feet, and it has a passive perception of 16. Doesn't speak any languages. Challenge rating 8, proficiency plus 3.
See,
In terms of
it's clear logic in the chat.
one head can eat you out while you make out with another one, yeah. And then another head can be at your butthole, and then a head each for your nips.
It's everywhere.
Yeah. A Hydra can hold its breath for 1 hour, which is great for swimming and cunnilingus. It has multiple heads. So the Hydra has 5 heads. This is basically what it's suggesting to you as a DM is like, give your Hydra 5 heads to start with.
Okay.
So long as it has more than 1 head, the Hydra has advantage on saving throws against being blinded, charmed, deafened, frightened, stunned, and knocked unconscious. Because you could do that to one head, but not to all of the heads. Or at least it's certainly harder.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Whenever the Hydra takes 25 or more damage in a single turn, one of its heads dies. If all its heads die, the Hydra dies. So if you had 5 turns where you did 25 or more damage each turn, you could kill the Hydra before you got it to 0 hit points because it has no heads left.
And that's kind of possible with a level 8+ party.
Yeah.
Because like if you have like 5 people in your party, level 8, the average damage that they could do is going to be around 30 to 40 damage per attack, per round.
You can expect that every turn the Hydra will lose a head. It can't lose more than 1 head per turn, but every turn it will probably lose a head.
Yeah.
But at the end of its turn, it grows 2 heads for each of its heads that died since its last turn.
Oh, that's where the math's going to fuck me up then.
So every turn it can lose 1 head.
Yeah.
And if it loses a head, at the end of its turn it grows 2 heads. So anytime you take out a head, you're effectively adding a head. Because you're taking 1 away, but then 2 more grow. So the whole thing of like getting it down to 0 heads is really difficult to do. Because the only way you can stop it from growing heads is if it's taken fire damage. Because the idea is you're cauterizing the neck. That you've damaged enough that a new head can't grow from it.
Okay.
And every time it grows a new head, it gets 10 hit points back.
Okay, that is... well, I think the problem is, Laura, it doesn't really just to say that you don't go for the head. It's just damage in general.
What Laura's talking about there is a thing that D&D players do fucking constantly, which the rules do not support, which is called shots. Of like, I attack this part of the creature. It's like, it doesn't work that way. D&D does not function.
It's just
off
a base
the idea
damage.
of... It's not VATS in Fallout.
No.
You're just attacking the creature. Yeah. And the way this views it is, if you're attacking the Hydra and doing enough damage to it, you have damaged a head enough that it dies and 2 more grow.
Yeah.
And it's really frustrating as a DM when players are like, okay, I attack the hand, so they drop the sword. And I'm like, no, you don't. You just do damage.
It's like you have to use a disarming attack. Like if you are a fucking fighter who has a disarming...
If you're a battle master or some shit, then you can do that. But you're not. You're a paladin, so no, you just smack them.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. The only time I ever think about like physical, like... the only time I've ever considered an element of where you attack the individual target is just on killing blows for flavor, because at that point you're just giving a little bit of like, okay, well I got the killing blow, so a little bit of panache here is that I done a flare. Fuck me, I can't even speak. A flourish, and I've decided to fucking like hit him in the chest a few fucking stabs and then fucking straight into the neck or some shit like that, you know.
That's a big old bug that was just flown right at my ring light.
At least you said light at the end.
Yeah, Laura's right, it adds flavor, but the problem is that players do it expecting that the narrative will then play out in a way that makes logical sense, which is a very reasonable thing to expect. But the rules don't support it. So as a DM, you're in the position where it's like, okay, either I give you guys an advantage that the rules don't support you having, which means this gets way easier, which means it's less fun, or I have to keep telling you no, which makes me feel bad, and then you guys are having less fun, and I'm having less fun. And it's why I'm getting drawn more and more towards narrative-first systems like City of Mist, where it's like, yeah, if you want to do that, fucking go for it. If you make the roll, it happens, because the story is more important than how the rules work. Like the D&D, it often feels to me like the story is there to give you a reason to use the rules. And that's completely backwards. It should be that, no, the rules are there to help you tell the story. If you can use PvG's example, if you can make it drop a weapon, then it's got to take time to pick up the weapon, and your team has now been bought time to do more damage. Yeah, that's exactly the point I'm making. That is not a thing the rules support you doing.
And I said, like, it only really works if you've got an ability that literally lends to the actual actions.
If you have
like a fighter's battle master. Yeah.
Whereas if you're just like, oh, I call a shot to disarm them so that they have to spend time picking their weapon up. I'm like, well, no, you can't do that. if I let you do it, I feel mean, and then you're disappointed. Like, if I don't let you do it, I feel mean and you're disappointed. And if I do let you do it, you now have an advantage that you shouldn't have, so the fight is now really easy, and then it's boring and not fun. Because it's not a system built for narrative, it's a system built as a punch each other to death simulator.
We just had a YouTube viewer come in asking, Happy Fruit's asking, was this? Hey, Happy Fruit, this is a show we do once a week here called PVD. As part of Player versus Dice, we go for a thing called Monster Week, where we break down tabletop RPG monsters and what their actual stat blocks are like, how you use them as actual monsters on the field of battle when it comes to like D&D, Pathfinder, or other TTRPGs. What you can do as a DM, what you may experience as a player, and ultimately kind of just walk through like their narrative, their stat sheets, and how we can approach that there.
So, like, to use, we also do decide if we would fuck them or not.
Yes, and we also decide if they're fuckable, because that's important.
To use the disarming example, in the system that I've been learning, City of Mist, the way that would work is, let's say you are like, I want to disarm this person, I want to take away their gun. That would be a move that is called change the game. Because you're trying to change something about how that scene is going to play out. You're trying to get something away. If you succeed that roll, I'm just like, yeah, they don't have the gun anymore. Because that's what you wanted to do, and that's what you did. That's what you decided to do. You didn't go, I make an attack. You specifically had a narrative goal in mind, and you rolled well enough to achieve that goal, and that goal has been achieved. So now the scene will play out differently. Whereas something like D&D just does not work that way at all. And yeah, Poetry OD raises a really good point. If everyone can just make called shots and disarm someone, it means the person who chose to spend their stats on the feat that allows it, or chose to spec into being a battle master so that they can do it, it's wasted. Yeah. It's like, oh, one of your features is just a thing the DM is letting everybody have, so now you feel less special. So you take away from another player's uniqueness in play. Yes. So it's tough. Like, I still enjoy D&D, but I'm realizing that the things I enjoy about D&D are things that I'm making it do, not things that it does naturally, because it is built from the ground up to funnel you towards combat. And when it gets you to combat, it is then built to funnel you towards hit them until their hit points drop to 0. As much as it tries to frame itself as like tactical, outside of spells, in terms of martial classes, there's no tactics. It's you run up and hit them until they're dead or you're dead, and that's it.
The most you'll get tactics outside of martial classes, in the sense of that there's like bonuses or strengths against certain damage types, and even then it's just about them using a tactic of, do I use a frost attack versus a flame attack versus a thunder attack, things like that there.
Yeah. So the Hydra, to go back to the Hydra, any damage you do to it is considered to be damage done towards destroying its heads. So even if you, as a character, realize, hang on, killing these heads is a bad idea, the game does not allow for you to try and hurt the Hydra any other way. It doesn't allow for you to go, well, I'm going to attack the body. I'm going to stab it in its side repeatedly, because it's not going to grow new sides, maybe. I don't know. It just becomes like a cube and then an octagon. It
just at one point has like 15 pancreases.
So yeah, the game does not allow for your character to strategize and be intelligent in that moment. It's just damage you do kills a head, and then it grows 2 heads, and gains some of those hit points back. And the only way you can prevent that is by doing fire damage to it. Which, if you have fire damage, great. You sicked one of these on your players once you forgot how small the stat block is for such a big boy. It's not a big stat block at all, but it's a fight that can go on for quite a while. If players don't have fire damage or don't realize that fire damage is the thing to do.
Yeah, and like,
it then just becomes it becomes a slugfest. Do you know what I mean? Just an endless pool of HP.
And like, I mean, like the armor class being 15 is not the biggest armor class you'll see, but you know what? 172 hit points is chunky, and if that thing's regenerating 10 at a time per round,
Exactly.
that's
technically it's regenerating 20 at a time because it regains 10 hit points for each head regrown.
Oh yeah, there you go.
It grows 2 for every one.
So that's still like that's still a long drawn out fight if you're not trying to nuke it, you know.
Also, it has reactive heads for each attack. For each head the Hydra has past 1. So if it has 5 heads, that means 4. It gets an extra reaction that can be only used for opportunity attacks, which means that if you're in melee with a Hydra that has 5 heads, and you try to leave melee with a Hydra, it gets 5 attacks of opportunity.
That is
if you fought it for
wild.
a bit and it has 10 heads, it has 10 attacks of opportunity.
That could insta down, or even in some really awful cases, insta kill your character.
Yeah, it's real fucking strong potentially.
Damn.
Like you're like, oh, we're getting low on hit points. I'll take the risk of an attack of opportunity. Excuse me, how many? I have to take 12. I'm dead then. It's like just dead.
It's like maybe I should have just taken the down instead of tried to avoid the down, because now I'm no longer just down, I'm also dead.
And attacks of opportunity is too much work for the DM. It's no more work than 1 is. You just do it multiple times. You just roll, see if you hit, roll, see if you hit, roll, see if you hit.
Yeah.
It's repeated work, but it's not too much work. It's not involved work. You just keep track of how many heads it has.
I mean,
which is pretty simple math.
If you have enough D20s in your hand, just roll all of them at once.
Roll all of them at once, yeah. Or roll 1 repeatedly.
Yeah.
Wakeful, while the Hydra sleeps, at least one of its heads is awake, which we saw in the lore, but it's nice that it's in the stat block.
Yeah.
And then here's the problem. Actions. Multi-attack. The Hydra makes as many bite attacks as it has heads.
Fuck off. That is fucking bad.
Which makes perfect sense.
It does, but Jesus H. Christ.
But if it follows the logic of, well, however many heads it has, it can make bite attacks, why as a player can I not kill the heads? Like, logic applies to the monster, but not to me trying to deal with the monster. And that feels fucked. Now, you as the DM can always go... It's like we're talking about, the DM can choose to allow people to not attack the heads and attack the body instead. But if you do that, you're massively nerfing this monster. You're taking away most of its tools. It won't get the extra attacks of opportunity, it won't get the extra attacks, it won't regenerate.
It's one of those things, like, you as a DM, in my opinion, you gotta be mindful of how many of these beasties you're putting on the battlefield at once, or how much supporting trash mobs you're putting with it, if you know what I mean.
I would, yeah, with a Hydra, at the level that a Hydra is intended to be encountered, I would be very careful about that. Yeah. Because it's very easy for the players to split damage. So they're doing some damage to the Hydra and some damage to something else, and that effectively means they're doing no damage to the Hydra, and it's just growing more heads and becoming more dangerous.
Yeah.
Because the bite attack is a +8 to hit, which is pretty good.
Oof. Fucking oof.
Like, with a +8, you're hitting casters. You're hitting them.
You're hitting them.
Most casters without mage armor are maybe looking at an AC of 12 or 13. With mage armor and magic items, 15 and a little bit more, but a +8 means that you basically need to roll 8 or above, and you're going to hit most of the party anyway. It has a reach of 10 feet, so you can even be slightly outside of melee, but because the necks are so long, it can still get you.
Yeah.
Now, each bite only does 1d10 plus 5 piercing damage, which isn't loads. But if it starts with 5 heads and it hits with all those attacks, which it probably won't, let's say it hits with 3 of those attacks, that's suddenly 3d10 plus 15 piercing damage, which is an average of 30 damage.
Yeah.
Fight goes on for a little bit. It has 10 heads. Let's say it hits with 5 of those heads.
10d10 plus 50 damage.
Well, if it's 5 heads, it's 5d10 plus 25 damage, and that can continue to scale up depending on how many heads it has.
Yeah.
The problem there is you can split that damage among multiple people that are in melee. Like, each head, like, the heads can go for different targets.
Mm-hmm.
you can spread that damage out as a DM to try and prevent like 20 heads from attacking one person instant downing, 20 heads next turn on the next person. But eventually, those characters are going to start to get low on HP.
Yeah.
And one of them is going to be like, I need to get out of melee so that I don't get killed in the next round. And then they're getting hit with 12 attacks of opportunity. And then they're just dead. And then all those attacks are getting funneled onto the next person. So describe it as the DM, getting to use it as the DM. But the whole thing of damage automatically being done to the heads, I think is really tricky. Because, oh, my screen is glitchy.
I am losing mad connection here, actually, on the OBS side.
On Discord, you're not moving, and I'm getting crazy, like, pixelation and screen tear.
I think the weather is starting to fuck my end up now.
Yeah, because I'm looking at Twitch. We're both still... Oh, no, my Twitch... Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay. My Twitch is going in and out. Your Discord image is just fucked.